Everyone told me finding a home would be joyful. They were wrong. Mine has been a journey into the heart of fear. Each house, a descent into a new kind of terror. I search for peace, for solace. Instead, I find only the chilling touch of the unseen. It began simply enough. I wanted a place of my own, a haven from the world. Little did I know I was stepping onto a path that led straight into a nightmare. Each house I visited, each room I entered seemed to whisper a silent warning. Ignorance, it seemed, was not bliss. It was a prelude to terror. I pressed on, my hope fading with every shadow that crossed my path. The dream of a home warped into a desperate search for an escape. I remember the first house I visited. It seemed perfect, a charming facade hiding the horrors within. As I stepped inside, the air grew colder, and an unsettling silence enveloped me. Every creak of the floorboards, every flicker of the lights seemed to whisper unseen presences. I tried to shake off the feeling, convincing myself it was just my imagination. But the house had other plans. It wanted me to know it was alive, watching, waiting. I fled, my heart pounding, the realization dawning that my search for a home had become a journey into the unknown. But I couldn't stop. I had to find a place, a sanctuary, and so I continued, each step taking me deeper into the darkness. The houses I visited seemed to grow more sinister, each one a new chapter in my tale of terror. I was no longer just searching for a home. I was battling the very essence of fear itself. And with each house, each step, I felt the darkness closing in, threatening to consume me. But I pressed on, driven by a desperate hope that somewhere amidst the shadows I would find my sanctuary. And so, my journey continues, a relentless search for a place to call home, a place where the darkness cannot reach. If you want to hear more of my terrifying house hunting stories, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. The Victorian house stood proud, a testament to a bygone era. Its ornate details and elegant lines whispered promises of warmth and comfort. I foolishly listened. The air inside was heavy, thick with the perfume of decay. Each step I took echoed through the empty halls. I should have turned back. Then, I didn't. Curiosity, or perhaps something more sinister, urged me forward. The rooms were spacious, the floors creaked, a mournful song underfoot. Shadows seemed to dance in the corners of my vision. Sunlight struggled to penetrate the dusty windows. Then the attic, a place untouched by time, or so it seemed. The air grew cold, a bone-deep chill that clung to me. The silence was deafening, broken only by the occasional creak of the old house. I felt a presence there, watching, waiting. My breath quickened, and I could hear my heartbeat in my ears. A child's toy lay discarded in the corner, its painted eyes staring accusingly. It felt as if the toy was a sentinel guarding secrets long forgotten. The floorboards groaned as if under unseen weight. Panic welled, choking me. I could almost hear whispers, unintelligible but insistent. I fled, the echoes of unseen laughter following me out. The house, once charming, now felt like a malevolent entity, eager to trap another soul. The modern house promised safety, its sleek lines and bright spaces a stark contrast to the Victorian mansion. I was wary, hesitant. The realtor smiled, oblivious to the tremor in my hand. Solid construction, he said, built to last. He didn't see the cracks in the basement walls, the way they oozed a strange viscous fluid. He didn't smell the damp earth. the metallic tang of blood mingling with the scent of mildew. The air was heavy, oppressive. It pressed down on me, stealing my breath. At night, the sounds began, scratching within the walls, whispers that slithered through the ventilation system. There was something wrong with that house, something rotten at its core. I left after a week, my skin crawling with phantom touches. But the memories lingered. The darkened hallways, the shadowy figures that seemed to watch from the corners. Lights flickered without reason, casting eerie glows that danced across the walls. The attic held secrets too, an old chest that seemed to hum with a life of its own. When I opened it, a strange light spilled out, illuminating the dust motes in the air. Inside, old photographs of a family long gone. Their eyes seemed to follow me, their smiles too wide. I felt watched. Every moment in that house was a test of my sanity. In the end, I fled, unable to bear the weight of its secrets any longer. The house still stands, a monument to the unknown, its secrets buried deep within its walls. The townhouse was perfect. Modern, well-maintained, friendly neighbors. A wave of relief washed over me. Perhaps this was it, the haven I'd been searching for. I was so desperate for it to be true. I ignored the warning signs. The neighbors were always watching, their smiles strained, their eyes too bright. They spoke of strange occurrences, of disappearances. Their words were cloaked in humor, but I heard the underlying terror. At night, I heard the screams, muffled, desperate pleas for help that seemed to seep through the very walls. I tried to tell myself it was the television, the wind, but deep down I knew the truth. The perfect neighbors, the idyllic street. It was all a facade. I was trapped in a nightmare, surrounded by horrors, hidden in plain sight. Shadows moved in the background, always just out of sight. I felt eyes on me, even when I was alone. Strange symbols began to appear, eerie markings on the walls. No matter how hard I tried, they always reappeared. Whispers filled the air, voices that seemed to come from nowhere. I discovered a hidden room, filled with dark secrets. The truth was more horrifying than I could have ever imagined. I had to get out, but the house wouldn't let me go. Doors slammed shut, trapping me inside. I screamed for help, but no one came. I was alone, and despair set in. Just when I thought all hope was lost, I found a way out. I ran as fast as I could, never looking back. Safe at last, I looked back at the house, knowing I had escaped a living nightmare. Inherited horrors, a family legacy, a desperate struggle. The house had been in the family for generations, each member adding their own chapter to a storied history. But with the inheritance came a burden, a dark secret that had haunted them for years. The protagonist, now the reluctant heir, found themselves entangled in a web of mystery and fear. Every creak of the floorboards, every whisper of the wind seemed to carry the weight of their ancestors' unresolved struggles. As they delve deeper into the house's past, the line between reality and nightmare blurred, leading to a desperate struggle to uncover the truth and break free from the haunting legacy.